Hello, everyone. Got a new feature here today. I'm going to let people kind of slowly start to queue in here a bit before we get too far into it. I'm Benny Powell, the head editor, and producer, whatever, for production for Absolute Comics Line. And I'm joined here by George Michail, who is the creator on a new series that will be coming into the Absolute line called Resilient. So um, this will be available to stream and restream on both YouTube and Facebook. We're simulcasting. Uh, Feel free after the show or during the show to post your comments or questions, and both of us will try and answer. This is part of the Absolute line of comics, so it is in the same universe as White Widow. It does cross over, so it's yet another one of our line. We're looking for the title is Resilient, and we are looking for it to launch first part of 2021. So you guys are getting literally. Diamond hasn't even gotten these covers or these insides or insights or anything. So you're really getting the first look here. But I'll let George Michail, who is the writer and creator of the series, kind of walk you guys through what the series is about.
Hey, yeah, so Resilient is an adventure comic. It's about a couple that is going through a lot of difficult times. They're struggling with infertility, they're struggling with financial hardship, and it's about them kind of coping through the relationship. But then they have a terrible accident, and our heroine, her name is Jolanda, uh, loses her arms, and she gets these mechanical arms, and so she's able to control them through her glasses with through eye movements, and she has these robotic arms which makes her um, pretty badass. Here we have example on the screen here, her arms. And her husband Colum has a sordid past, and it's all leading towards like a blood-soaked climax with the Mexican cartel and Jolanda and her man having to rescue some girls.
Now, this again, we do have as we've discussed, we have another series called Amped, which deals with characters, and which is sold out. First issue sold out. Second issue selling really well in pre-sales, and comes out this month. There is a little Easter egg. There may be a tie between these two to a degree. But what made we talked about this yesterday when we went through Amped? What made you attracted to to having a lead character who has I don't want to say a challenge was, I guess, the nice way of saying it.
Yeah, I've been through some uh, injuries myself. I broke my back in 2014. Um, when I was 15 years old, I had pericarditis, which is like um, it's like a virus that like attacks your heart, and I was actually airlifted from Vancouver Island to Vancouver Children's Hospital. I took a helicopter ride in the middle of the night, but I was too sick to even look out the window, and uh, and I had like emergency surgery to kind of drain the fluid from my heart because it was stopping like blood through the rest of my body. And so I've been through a few injuries, and so I just kind of wanted to talk about that. And so, well, it's very different than losing your arms and getting badass robot arms. But um, I just wanted to be able to kind of talk about the feeling of going through an injury, feeling helpless or feeling down, and then kind of finding yourself and regaining your strength and coming through it on the other side.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things. For instance, like I said with First Defense, I mean not First Defense, sorry, Amped. I as well dealt with uh, some mobility issues, both with my father and then with me. So this, I believe, a lot of people out there in the world have at one point or another had a major challenge hit them in their life and what they do to overcome, which is why I liked um, the original title he came to me with was No Quit. And I was like, sounds, I'd rather have a single word type of thing and we ended up coming up together with Resilient, which is what the character is. She's resilient. She comes back from this. You do get to travel with her through her journey as she tries to come to grips with um, going from being a very powerful physical person to having having lost her limbs, two of her limbs. So it's I thought it was a fun series concept and obviously one that can fit easily into our universe as a whole. What now? Another thing too. This is going to be what I would say is close to like a rated R. Not that we'll have outright nudity per se, but certainly the violence and things will probably be we'll say age 16 plus. Would you agree as that type of audience?
Sure, it's an action adventure kind of story, but there's violence and language in it. But uh, I think it's kind of safe for most teenagers. Yeah, I don't think it's anything worse than they're saying or seeing in Deadpool or John Wick sort of stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of at when you've got Deadpool dealing with pegging in the first movie. That's a pretty high or low, depending on your perspective, bar. um, but yeah, I think that this kind of thing will have a bit more of a mature audience, um, and certainly is something that is fine. I mean, White Widow outright slaughtered people in her first issue. She's pulled back from that a bit, but um, the fact is that is something she's capable of, is outright killing people. So there's nothing new there. There are just a little bit more mature themes. We should mention that as well. Intended, uh, this is something that is very nitty gritty, darker tone um, on stuff. I'm trying to say stuff without giving away too much. But it is something I think that the White Widow and other um, fans will enjoy. We've got. I'll see if I can pull up on my screen the to where we can zoom in a little bit better. We have a few of the covers um, that do, 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 do. Let's see. No view.
Yeah, I'm really excited about some of the covers that we've got. We've got some fantastic talent contributing to the book. There's Ali Garza is an artist that has done lots of covers for White Widow. He's previously worked on Teen Titans and Supergirl, and that's our cover right there from our series artist Vince Altabanis.
Oh God.
and that's from Chris Brooks Morris there.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. And then down at the here's another cover.
Yeah, it's from Mina Petrovic, who's an artist that worked on like Manga Crash Course, and she's a frequent collaborator of mine. We work on a few other projects, and I think she's incredible talent based out of Serbia. And that's actually the background is San Diego Comic Con. It's kind of the building there.
And then we've got there we go.
Yeah, there we go, issue 2. And so here we're seeing like kind of the transformation of our hero, kind of our judo teacher in the first frame, and then kind of feeling down and out in the second lower picture where she's lost her arms, and then kind of in the third one where she's standing strong and empowered with her arms here. But it was really important for me when in telling the story that our hero kind of finds herself and kind of becomes strong on her own before she gets her robotic arms, and so you get to see this journey that she's going through.
Right. All right, and then we've got there's another cover.
Yeah, this is from Andy Bellinger. Andy is an artist that's worked on Swamp Thing, Southern Cross, and he's an awesome dude. He's a professional wrestler and a comic book artist, and yeah, I was really lucky to be able to have him do a cover for our book here.
And then let me see. I'll pull. This is the last cover so far that we have. We will have some other covers for the Kickstarter. And here we go.
Yeah, that's Ali Garth, colored by Sanju.
It looks like inks by Mustafa as well. If I'm, does that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, nope. Looks like he may have inked it himself.
Yes.
So yeah, and of course that's the homage to the "We Can Do It" type of thing. So we've got so those are just some of the covers. 2 issues are penciled, inked, colored already. So we've got some stuff in the can. Someone asked, how much will Resilient affect the White Widow universe besides Amped? Well, the answer is it absolutely will affect. We'll probably see crossovers in. She's kind of got her arc, which is how many issues did you have for the first major arc?
5.
5. So once it gets through that, even concurrent to that, we may have her make appearances in other books. We're still mapping that out, and we might see some Easter eggs and some crossovers and things like that, because obviously she now lives in a world that's starting to see superheroes, and she's one of them. A reluctant one. Some of the technology and stuff obviously has carryover. And we'll see. I've been hinting at this, that there is in First Defense the big crossover event that we're building towards, and she will be taking part in that as well. So everything is kind of driving all of these forces towards that. So yeah, she's going to be kind of an interesting, like, street level kind of character in our lineup. That's one of the things that I love that we've tried to make sure that we do is that each one of our books has its own kind of flavor, its own like genre beyond just everything being, yes, we're all superheroes, the end. Instead, everything kind of works together. In the example I use quite often, and I know I've repeated it a couple times in this, is the Marvel Comics cinematic universe, where Thor Ragnarok is not the same as Thor Dark World. It's not the same as the first Thor. It's not the same as Civil War or Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was clearly a spy espionage type of film. Thor Ragnarok was clearly a buddy cop type of film. You have these. Doctor Strange was absolutely a metaphysical, like it reminded me more of Inception than it did any other Marvel movie. So uh, these sorts of different philosophies, yet still making a cohesive whole, is what we're always looking forward to as we bring in more and more titles into the Absolute Universe. Do you have some to add to
I
that?
know it's a bit of a crime story. It's a bit of a romance. It's a bit of an action story. It's a bit of a science fiction. So there's a lot of different genres that this story kind of falls into. But it's kind of anchored by our characters, and I tried to really base them on kind of real interactions that I've had, and so hopefully you fall in love with the characters. It's about a husband and wife, which you don't necessarily see in comics as much. It's usually just about one hero, and so this is well, Jolanda has the robotic arms, and she's a judo teacher, by the way, too. So she really knows how to use them once she gets going. Um, it's also about her husband too, who's a former ranger, and he has a lot of kind of things haunting him, mistakes that he's made in his past. So it's uh, it's about them kind of coming together and working together and navigating their relationship and all the stress that it can come through with injuries. Um, they're having trouble conceiving a baby. They're having a lot of problems, but still they're kind of working together and making each other laugh and dealing with all the problems that comes to them. But at the same time, they have this looming threat that they encounter, and they feel like it's something that they have to take on and deal with. So it's it's a fun book that I think does kind of rely a lot on its characters, and but at the same time, it is an action adventure story. There's kung fu and robot arms and just badass scenes I really just don't want to give away. But there's so much great action in the book that comes um, as the series progress and the stakes get higher and higher.
Yes, in a way, she is a true Iron Fist.
Yes.
So, um, although hopefully we can remove, if there's ever a TV series, all of the boring boardroom scenes. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, did anyone else? If anyone else has any questions or anything, feel free to chime in. But like I said, again, this is Resilient. This will be coming out January, February of next year. First two issues are done. We're slating it into a Kickstarter that'll be coming closer to the launch, so that by the time we finish the Kickstarter, the books will basically be ready to be in your hands. Feel free as well to reach out to us. George Michail, you can find him on Facebook, me as well, and you can also reach out to us. We will be creating its own Facebook page here shortly, and you guys can take, and if you came in late, you can view on both YouTube or Facebook, the White Widow or the Absolute Comics Group Facebook pages /live. and see that. Also, be sure to check out our upcoming live streams and the previous live streams for a broader view of what all's going on in the absolute universe. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks, George, for giving us a wonderful sneak peek at everything. And we look forward to having it in the lineup.
Can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you.